Miss Savannah decided that she was ready to come around her due date on December 3rd, about 7 a.m. I was having what I thought was contractions, but I didn't know for sure. They were just very little ones and they weren't too painful or anything like that. And fortunately, I had a doctor's appointment at 8:30 that morning. We went in and they went over, are you feeling movement and all of this stuff? And I said, well, I'm not feeling as much movement as what I usually do. So they hooked us up to a monitor. We sat there for a really long time. So there was a couple times that we had gone to the hospital a couple weeks before she decided to come. And every time we were there, they had to put us on the monitor and she would just kick it off and be really difficult and not want to sit still so they could get good readings. So she did the same thing on the 3rd. She didn't want to sit still, so they couldn't get a good reading. But they finally did, and they're like, yeah, we are picking up not as much movement and you're definitely having contractions. So they said, you're so close to your due date, why don't you just head into the hospital and get induced? I left the doctor's appointment and I called Landon and I told him, I said, all right, well, we need to go to the hospital because they want us to induce. He was all excited and I was excited. I wasn't really nervous. I was kind of just ready for her to be here. So we got to the hospital about 10:30 and they took us into a room, got us all admitted, and they started Pitocin at 12:30. So we hung out for a while. I started at 2 centimeters. We just hung out until about 3 p.m. I asked for some pain medication because the contractions were getting stronger and a little bit more uncomfortable. They gave me some medication through the IV, and they checked me again, and I was at 3 centimeters. Then I was able to rest. Landon and I both took a nap, which was really nice, and I think that helped me relax a little bit more. So then about 11:30, I asked for some more pain medication, and that, I was able to rest again. I think that helped just relax me, so I was able to progress like I should. About 12:30, I asked for an epidural and I got that. And I thought, my whole pregnancy I was so worried about getting an epidural because, a needle going into your back kind of freaked me out a little bit. But I was so uncomfortable from the contractions that it didn't even bother me. It kind of just felt like they were drawing blood. I guess I worried a little bit more than what I should have. And then, we took another nap. And about 1:30, my water broke, which felt really, really weird. It's really uncomfortable. I said, I think my water just broke. And Landon goes, are you sure you just didn't pee yourself? I said, no, my water definitely broke. So we called for the nurse to come back in. And she confirmed. She goes, yep, your water broke. And then after that, it got really, really intense and really uncomfortable. I'm glad that I had a bit of the pain medication and the epidural on to kind of take the edge off. I still felt everything, but I don't think it was as bad as what it could have been. So yeah, 1:30, that broke. About 3:30-ish, they checked me again, and I was at 9.5 centimeters. So they woke Landon up. They said, she's really close. You need to get up. So about 4:30, we started pushing. And at 7 a.m., on Friday, the 4th, they were getting ready to switch nurses. So the nurses that I had Wednesday during the day came back in. They were all gowned up, and they were kind of talking in the background, saying, do you think we should call the doctors in? And the one nurse looked down at me and she goes, yep, we need to call the doctors. I see the head. And I could tell that she was coming and she was getting really close. So they called the doctors, and they kind of took their time coming in. And they, first time mom, they're like, oh, she's going to push forever. And so they took their time. They came around the curtain, and they saw that she was coming. So they rushed over the counter, they gowned up, they put their gloves on, and within, a matter of minutes, she was born. So she came at 7:28 a.m. on December 4th. When she came out, they laid her on top of me for just a moment so I could meet her. And then they had to take her over to the other table because there was some meconium in my water. So they just wanted to make sure that she didn't swallow any. But they said everything was perfect. Her lungs were clear. I was all worried because she wasn't crying. So I asked them, I said, what's wrong? Is everything okay? And they're like, she's totally fine. She just doesn't want to cry. They were trying everything to make her cry, and she didn't want to. She just was perfectly content being quiet. They said she looked perfect. Everything looked good. Her lungs were clear. Color was good. And then they brought her back over to me. I was able to lay skin to skin with her while they cleaned everything up. And then after that, we nursed, and then we got to know each other, and then her daddy got to hold her for a little bit. And then they took us up to our hospital room where we stayed until Sunday, and then we came home. I had mixed feelings about being sent home. It was really nice having all of the nurses there because if I had any questions or worries, they were right there. But at the same time, I was ready to be home. So we took her home, and we settled in, and she's been home ever since, doing wonderful, growing and developing a personality. She's wonderful, and we're so happy that she's here, and we just can't wait to see her grow and see what kind of person she turns into be. One berry, two berry, pick me a blueberry. Hatberry, shoeberry, in my canoeberry. Under the bridge and over the dam, looking for berries, berries for jam. Three-berry, four-berry, hayberry, strawberry, finger and hallberry, my berry, your berry. Strawberry ponies, strawberry lambs, dancing in meadows of strawberry jam. Quickberry, quackberry, pick me a blackberry. Trainberry, trackberry, clickety-clackberry. Rumble and ramble in blackberry bramble, billions of berries for blackberry jamble. Raspberry, jazzberry, razzmatazberry, berry band, merry band, jamming in Berryland. Raspberry rabbits, brassberry band, elephants skating on raspberry jam. Moonberry, starberry, cloudberry sky, boomberry, zoomberry, rockets shooting by. Mountains and fountains rain down on me, buried in berries, what a jamboree. The end.